So good morning everyone, my name is Phát and our group has three members, me, Phát, Thảo and Trang. And our thesis today is about the effectiveness of flipped classroom in fostering vocabulary learning in major module at Faculty of Foreign Language. And our study has five parts, that is introduction, literature review, methodology, result and discussion, and finally the conclusion. So let's come to the first part, and it's the introduction. So many fourth students today have faced challenges in mastering a large amount of technical vocabulary, and that is crucial for their uh, academic purpose and their future career. And the traditional classroom, which led by the instructor lecture, was limited in their interaction and caused passive learning for the students. And so the flipped classroom model come like a promising alternative that shift the theory outside from the class, and it make the valuable time at class for practical use, problem solving, and group discussions. And we find some gaps, such as at our faculty, no study has been shown that the effectiveness of flipped classroom in uh, learning technical vocabulary. And let's come to our foundation, that is the literature review. First one, that is the disciplinary vocabulary. So that's the domestic, domain-specific, highly conceptual, less ambiguous, and precise. And we need a method that beyond from present the definition, and it must help the student to apply the vocabulary into the context and into the future career. And second one, that is the flipped classroom model. Flipped classroom, or we can call inverted classroom, which is we give students videos, textbook, or quizzes to do at home. And in class, they have chance to have high interaction activities, group discussion, and problem solving. And the flipped classroom models is uh, rooted with constructivist approach and the Bloom's taxonomy, which is lower order thinking skills should be at home, and higher order thinking skill like applying, analyzing, and creating should be in class. And we found that some existing research show that flipped classroom has positive effect on general language learning and academic, but we find some gaps, such as uh, some research lack of focusing on the effective of flipped classroom in the vocabulary, technical vocabulary learning, and its lack of the Vietnamese context. So let's come to the methodology, how we conduct our research. We use the mixed method research design, which we gather both quantitative and qualitative data. And we have two research questions. How does the flipped classroom model compare to traditional teaching method in improving vocabulary learning for students in major modules? And the second one, that is, what are the perceptions of for students regarding the effectiveness of the flipped classroom in learning technical vocabulary? For the participants, we have 50 students from Focus and Continuing Education Institute, and we're using purposive random samplings, which is the experimental group has 25 students using the flipped classroom model, and the course they learn is English for electrical and electronic engineering. And control group, which has 25 students, use the traditional classroom, and course they learn is English for mechanical engineering and material science. And for the instrument, we collect quantitative data by vocabulary tests. We have pre-test and post-test. The format is translate term into Vietnamese, labeling, matching, multiple choice, and diagram labeling. And the purpose is to measure change in technical vocabulary knowledge before and after using two methods. We collect qualitative data by using online survey. We have two online survey on Microsoft Forms, which is using 5-point Likert scale. And the purpose is to capture student perception and experience after using two methods of studies. And for the instructional procedures, our study prolonged for 5 weeks in 2024-2 semester. With the flipped classroom group, they have given the lecture video on LMS before class, and they have to complete quizzes, and they have discussion forum with the teacher and friends. And during class, they have high interaction activities, group discussion, problem solving, and they have a chance to promote 4 skills in English. And with the traditional classrooms, there's no before class activities. And during class, they primarily instructor lecture, and students take notes and do the work in the exercise book. And that's all about the methodologies. And now Thảo will introduce to you about the results and the discussions.
Good morning, everyone. I'm the crew of our presentation. Today, I'm going to talk about the quantitative finding of the study, and we focus on the comparing vocabulary learning outcomes of flipped classroom and traditional classroom in 4 major modules. And there are 2 main sectors I will cover. The first is pre-test and post-test result, and the second is the key discussion points based on the finding. And let's move to the vocabulary test score result between FC and TC. And you can hear in the table, the FC group started with the 5.55 and ended with the 6.99. On the other hand, the TC group started the lower at 2.84 and improved by 5.75. And based on the result, there are two main important takeaway here. The first of all, FC protest is over 2 times higher than TC pretest, and yep, I mean that this is a very large differences. And furthermore, this comparison point out that the output of the FC group the FC group is far exceeded to the starting point of the TC group, and so emphasizing the positive impact of the flipped method teaching. And secondly, the FC pretest is almost the TC post-test, and this indicates that the FC started where the TC ended. And in other words, I wanted to mention that before applying the flipped classroom, the students of the FC group have reached the level of the student of the TC group have reached after the apply studying process. And look at the mean improvement. The FC group improved by 1.44, and the TC group show a larger gain of the 2.91. I think although the FC student performed better overall, the TC group showed a larger gain, and This makes us the question that whether the different due to the instructional effectiveness or basically is the initial level gap of the student in the two class, and this is something we aim to explore further. And come to the key discussion point of the quantitative findings. The first, both methods improve vocabulary learning, but the FC improvement was not statistically significant. In the phase two, um, the initial level gap may have influenced the result, and which make it unclear whether flipped classroom is truly more effective. And thirdly, it worth noting that FC pretest score were close to the TC process score, and it suggests that the students of the FC group have a stronger foundation and better knowledge retention. And lastly, the TC remains valuable, especially for the lower level students. And the final note, input differences or short study duration may affect reliability. And to sum up, both methods, FC and TC, have a strength and limitation. Uh, FC is suitable for students have a stronger foundation and better knowledge retention, while the FC group may be effective for the student have a lower level. And I think the the two class is not the same level at the beginning. So the research question one of my team have not a clearly have a clear not have a clear answer. So coming to the next part.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Kiều. So now I will talk about this qualitative writing. Our data was collected by using to the surveys, and it's helped to compare the perception between the FC and TC approach, and this helped to answer the second research question. And for the first, about the student awareness of the importance of vocabulary learning, the FC methods enhance student awareness of the importance of specialized vocabulary as well as the student proactivities and independence. You can see all the answer of the survey is in our paper, and for this section, almost students have the opinion strongly agree with the importance of the vocabulary learning. However, in the FC, the percentage of opinions strongly agree is higher than TC group. However, in the TC group, the opinion of neutral is higher, and so so it can show that in the FC group, students may be more independent, and we can give more clearly opinion than the student as the TC group. The second point is about pervasive effectiveness of the learning method, and the survey shows that students in the FC group also has positive perception about the effects of the learning method on their learning process. For example, students as FC group, 60% of students here feel more confident in using special vocabulary learning, especially in speaking and writing, and 64% of students feel that learning method too help them prepare better before class. And in another side, in the TC group, 72% of students agree that the lack of pre-class learning tool make it harder for them to be proactive in learning vocabulary. As we have said before, as active group, students have more chance, more opportunity to connect with the knowledge and the vocabulary before they come to the class. So when they come to class, they have the back knowledge about the vocabulary of the new lessons. So they can, when they come to class, they will have more chance to apply, to practice, and discussing with the teacher and other students. However, students in the TC group, they have nothing before they come to class, so they need more time to learn, to remember, to understand the vocabulary, and then they vocabulary to do the activity in this class. And so it leads to that the active methods make students feel more interested in learning. 60% of students as active group agree that it matters, encourage them to participate more actively in class activity. And after this, in the TC group, 56% of students says that learning by the traditional method make them feel bored and not motivated to learn vocabulary. And I have said before about the student and FC group have the back knowledge and they can prepare better before they come to class. So it is have them a lot to attend with the class activities. A student, as TC, they have to learn and remember in the short time before they do the activities, so they feel bored and not motivated to join in the activity in this class. However, in our survey, we also received some negative result. Is that 4% of students says actually did not have them remember vocabulary better, or 4% did not feel more proactive with these matters. And I think is the main reasons for this is that student is really familiar with the traditional ways. So when they have to follow on the new methods, they feel it's difficult to follow, and they think that and they have to try to manage the time to do on the pre-class activity at home and prepare for the new lessons. And this is the end of our result and discussions. In conclusion, our research have give you the statistics and some points to about the effectiveness of the new method on vocabulary learning. It's called flipped classroom. Besides, we also have some limitation. First is about the sample size. It's too small for us to do the pre-test and post-test. And besides, it's the time limit. We just have 5 weeks to do the pre-test, post-test, and both the surveys. It's to source for us to find out the effectiveness in the long term. Besides, we also have a mistake in the misidentification of the level between two groups of students, and it makes us have the unsatisfactory result. So we hope that in the future we will have more opportunity to improve our research. Thank you for the listening.
But the two groups starts with very different input levels.
Yes.
How do the different input levels affect the results of your study?
Well, I think the reason why I know the initial starting level of the two group is not the same, but my team will choose to research called uh, initial my team will choose the two cohort in the 65, 67 and 68. But I hope that it is the same. It is the same in the input level, but I think it is comparable. Comparable. But it is my it's I will hope, and if my team will compare one class is not meaningful in comparison. So I will decide to it. And moreover, this is the one reason in the 3 months of the semester two. Semester two is the only two OT2 class is suitable for my research. So I have to no option. I have to choose two class to research. And finally, I think my team my team want to conduct the research, conduct the research, retest and protest to have a significant comparison. So it's the reason why.
Okay, but you must be aware that because of the result of the pre-test is different, so the result would be seriously affected. Now question 2 is for Trang, please. Some students in your study reported that they felt distracted or uncomfortable with the flipped classroom. What might be the reasons, and how can teachers help students get more involved?
Yes, I think the main reason is that student is really they have to study in the traditional method in the long time, so they are so familiar with these methods, and when they have to upload new methods, they will have some difficulties, especially in this method. They have to learn, have to read and watch video, join the online activities before they come to class. So some students cannot manage the time to prepare and learn before they come to class. So after they come to class, they have to do some quizzes to take to test maybe how how many is the how much vocabulary that they can follow, and so this is less that some student feels really is really hard and really boring for when they have to learn in the new method, and the teacher and I think is some of the best way that teacher has uh, can control the number of the activities at home, and we can uh, we can um, we can it can increase the number of the exercise and activity at home before, and then when have to familiar with the new method. That is my answer.
Okay, thank you. And the third question is for Phát, please. What strategies would you recommend for the teachers who want to apply the FC model in English courses to enhance students' autonomy and engagement?
So to enhance autonomy and engagement, I recommend for teachers the flipped classroom because the student need to watch the video on the LMS at home, and they need to read the textbook first, and they also need to complete quizzes before class that show the autonomy in the learning, and in class they can have like ask the teacher about the problems they don't understand at home, and also they can have group discussions to have to memorize the vocabulary. I think that's also the autonomy that teachers
Okay, so what about engagement? Any strategy to enhance the engagement of the students? You just mentioned the ways to enhance the autonomy of the student.
Yeah.
Okay. So anything about the engagement of the student? What can the student, teacher can do to what strategies?
I think to enhance the engagement, we need to like we can promote the quality of the videos on the LMS and to attract students to watch, and we also need to like have some statistic like what how many minutes that student have watched the videos, and I think that's oh.
Thank you. I have the last question for your whole group on slide number 27. You can exercise if you wish. You compare the FC group and TC group, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I can see in the question for the FC group, you get the very positive question like I engage more actively, but for the TC group, you mentioned I feel bored. So do you think that the question are leading questions?
Yes. I think 56% percent of students is not motivated and feel bored. But that means that 44 of the students feel motivated for the learning vocabulary, and compared to the 64 of the students agree, is it 64 of the students agree either.
I mean the way you created the questions. Because FC group in
Yes, it's in my
do
in
you
my
want to have a positive impact?
yeah,
So
yeah,
the way
it's in
you
my fault.
okay, so can you answer that question? Do you think they are leading questions? Why do you ask students in a different way? Okay, beside the question for TC group or FC group, you use a similar way to ask the question, right?
Yeah, during during the conduct the survey process, so to survey to conduct the process and the learning method effectiveness, and so I think my team think that the free TC group is a full um, a lesson of the TC class that have 3 hours for the one lesson. So I think some students maybe feel bored and unmotivated. So I think the way and to conduct the survey, but now I think it is not unsuitable for teens. Yeah.
Okay, so when you're doing the research, you have to think about both sides of the thing. Do you
Yeah.
review in the literature.